Sorry for the wait. It takes me a bit longer to get here than what it used to do. Look at all you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't normally do written speeches, but otherwise it would be dark by the time we're finished. So here I am. So I'm Adrian Walker. Most people know me as AD. And I'm vaccine injured. I'm diagnosed with vaccine-induced thrombocytopenia. I had multiple blood clots and extremely low platelets. I'm now 49 years of age, a married father of 2, and a granddad. I was a self-employed taxi driver, a sub-4-hour marathon runner, a run leader for Grantham Running Club, and a former semi-professional football referee. Now look at me. The doctors told me that my fitness was a massive factor in me surviving. I was extremely close to death. My wife was called to hospital on the 8th of March 2021 and told to expect end of life. The doctors and nurses on the Waddington ward and Lincoln County Hospital saved my life. I would not be here if it was not for them. And for that, I feel they deserve a round of applause for that. Now I rely on my wife to push me around in a wheelchair and a mobility scooter to give me some much needed independence. I'm now disabled, unable to work. There's a real possibility that we will be forced to sell our home. If you're unable to work, then ask yourself, how are you supposed to pay your mortgage? Just walking up and down the stairs makes me breathless. I no longer live. I merely exist. My life as I knew it has been ripped away from me because of my AstraZeneca vaccine, which I had nearly 2 years ago on the 16th of February 2021. There are a few people from the vaccine injured and bereaved community that I would like to mention who unfortunately are not able to be with us today. Martin Blighty is now disabled after suffering a blood clot on the brain. Martin now uses a walking stick and is unable to work and drive due to his poor health. Claire Hibbs is now disabled after being diagnosed with vaccine-induced thrombocytopenia. Claire now uses a walking stick, suffers with chronic fatigue, and is unable to work due to her poor health. Stephen Ward, who sadly passed away on the 23rd of March 2021, with his loving wife Sheila, his 2 sons Joe and Sam by his side after being diagnosed with vaccine-induced thrombocytopenia. Martin, Claire, Stephen and myself had no pre-existing health conditions. We were all fit and healthy. We only took the vaccine to protect others, to do the right thing, just as the government and the mainstream media were constantly telling society to do. I now feel that I was coerced and lied to. We now know that the vaccine does not stop you catching COVID, and it does not stop you from spreading COVID. I always say it's a case of risk versus reward. I know only too well of the risks. Reward? I cannot see any reward. I have been shocked and dismayed at the level of censorship surrounding vaccine side effects. Governments, social media, mainstream media, all around the world seem to constantly use safe and effective as their go-to phrase. Yet, as soon as this is questioned, it is shut down, dismissed, and labelled as misinformation. We are not misinformation. We need the will to listen without prejudice, have informed debates, look at all the data, and then let people make an informed decision. This leads me on to the issue of informed consent. How do we define informed consent? The people must be given all of the information about what the treatment involves, including the benefits and risks, and whether there are reasonable alternative treatments. If someone agrees to an activity under pressure or intimidation or threat, that is not considered as consent because it was not given freely. Therefore, if you are told that if you do not have a COVID vaccine, you will lose your job, how can that be considered as consent? Before I go, I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you to you all for coming out and supporting the vaccine injured and bereaved, for supporting the Truth to be Told campaign, for continuing to raise awareness of adverse reactions to all COVID vaccines. To have people listen to us and support us really does give us all a tremendous boost. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.